Hi everybody, my name is Kelly and welcome to my home. I'm really excited today to share this video with you as it is in participation of my very first Friday Friend Hop. The Friday Friend Hop is hosted by the Heidi Sonboul DIY channel, and Heidi is actually the creator of the hop. I will be sure to share more details on how this hop works later in my video, but first let's get into my first DIY.
All items for this first DIY project were purchased from my local dollar store. So here's what you're going to need for this. An artist canvas, and mine is an 18 by 24, paint colors of your choice, and sparkles of your choice. I then took the first color I was going to use and I decided to start with the gray, and I just spread it all over the bottom part of the canvas, I would say about 2/3 of the way up. Then I simply took a paintbrush and proceeded to just paint the rest of the canvas, including the sides, so that when it's hanging on the wall, you see the paint as well, not just the sides of the white canvas. And I cannot tell you guys how easy and actually relaxing this project was. It's simply just painting the canvas. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Now it's time to tackle the top part of the painting, and I'm going to proceed with the exact same method as I did on the bottom. And because my room is gray with some hints of pink, I decided to use pink on the top. So I did it exactly the same way, and I have to say I panicked at this point because the pink was really pink. But that's what I mean about this project. It's so cool because now what I'm going to do is add some white in to tone down that pink color. So guys, you just keep adding paint to your canvas until you get the kind of ombre look that you like. And I kept adding white to the top to make the pink a little less pink. And I added some black and some white to the bottom to give it a much more depth on the bottom. So you can see here I'm adding in some black, and then I'll go back in and add in some white and mix it all. And it really gives a really cool look to it. I loved doing this. I forgot to mention at the beginning that you're also going to need some Mod Podge, and that's what I'm using here. I just spread some Mod Podge where the gray and the pink met, and then just had fun adding glitter and sparkles to the Mod Podge. You can add as little or as much as you want. I think this project is probably one of my most favorite that I've ever done. The end result is so pretty. I absolutely love it in my bedroom. It looks so good, and I've seen paintings similar to this in the stores for hundreds of dollars, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
So the Friday Hop is a big circle of crafting inspiration for you. We each link one channel, the next channel in the hop, in our description box below. And the idea is for you to click on it when you're done watching this video and go to the next girl in the hop. So in the end, you make a big circle of all the ladies that are in this hop and get lots of crafting inspiration. But don't go there yet. I still have a couple more crafts I want to share with you.
Again, the items for this DIY were purchased from the dollar store, and some were even free. All you're going to need are some paints, any color, some paint brushes, and some rocks. Yes, some rocks. So this project really couldn't be any easier. All I did was take each rock and paint a base coat on them. One was white, one was yellow, one was black, and there is a story as to why I made these. In our community during quarantine, there was a story on the news of a lady actually in our neighborhood who started painting some rocks for the children in the neighborhood. When they were out on walks, they could go around and try to find these rocks, and they could take them home, they could move them, or they could just leave them there for everybody to admire. And I thought it was such a wonderful story, and I decided to make my own and place them around my neighborhood as well. So that's why I chose to do these painted rocks, and it actually was a lot of fun, and it gives me such joy to think of the children in the neighborhood out walking around, even the adults, and finding my rocks. So the designs I chose were just simple polka dots, a Canada flag, and some tulips on a rock because we do celebrate a tulip festival, but it's been canceled due to quarantine. So now I'm just going to place my rocks in the local neighborhood park for people to find and enjoy. As I'm looking back on this footage of me placing the rocks around the neighborhood, I have the biggest smile on my face. I just think this was so much fun. The materials for this third and final DIY, most of them were bought at the hardware store with a couple of things that I already had on hand. So you're going to need some paint or stain of your choice, a right angle and a measuring tape. I used a staple gun with staples. You can use a picture hook, or I used these command strips, some wood glue, and of course a piece of wood which we already had on hand from a other project that we did. Oh, and I did use our chop saw. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out 15 inches down my piece of length of wood, and then from there I'm going to take my right angle and make a 45-degree line. And I'm going to repeat this process all the way down the board and then take it to my chop saw and just chop each piece. This girl likes her power tools. I love using this machine. But now you can see that I have 45-degree angle on the top and the bottom. And can you guess what I'm making? So now I'm going to take these and put them together to form a part of a triangle. And I'm going to use my wood glue and some clamps to try and hold them together and let this dry overnight. So once everything was dry the next day, I took it back into our workshop, and I'm actually going to use my staple gun on the back and the front to secure them a bit better because the wood glue really wasn't helping at all. It wasn't keeping them together. So now I'm just going to take some wood filler and fill in the cracks where they join together. And once it was dried, I gave it a quick sanding before I headed to paint each of the arrows. Here I decided to paint one of the arrows black, but my black paint wasn't cooperating. It was pretty well empty. So I had to resort to my chalk paint, which actually in the end turned out to be a better option. And I thought it would be much more fun when it's on the wall because then you could write little messages on it if you really wanted to. But the one thing I did want to mention when you're doing chalk paint, I used a paintbrush here, but it goes on much nicer if you use a sponge. So on my second coat, because you do have to apply multiple coats when using chalk paint, I used a sponge on the second coat and it spread so much nicer and looked so much better on the wood. Now that all the paint is dry, I'm going to take them up to my son's old room and I'm going to apply my command strips to the back of them. As you can see, I painted one arrow black, one was I spray painted silver, and one I painted white. And these command strips, don't you just love command strips and command hooks? They are the best invention ever. So here I'm just going to apply these picture hanging strips, Velcro strips, to the back of each arrow. These were made from wood that was so light, so I am not worried about these strips holding these arrows to the wall at all. And here's a look at the final project up on the wall. I think these look so cool in his room. He does have this kind of color theme going on in it, so it really, really turned out well in this room. The great thing about these is you can make them any size you want, any thickness you want, out of any wood. You can paint, you can stain, anything to suit your decor, and they would work so well.
This has been so much fun to participate in this Friday Friend Hop, and I hope that you enjoyed my DIY projects. I love creating these things. I love creating things for my home, and I hope that I inspired you in some way to create something for your own home that is uniquely yours. And be sure to leave a comment down below and tell me which one was your favorite DIY project. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. I'd love to connect with you over there. It's so much fun. And if you do happen to try one of these DIY projects, tag me. I'd love to see what you guys are making. And if you're coming from Heidi's channel, hello and welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video and you'll think about giving it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, think about subscribing by hitting the little red button below. I'd love to have you join me each week as I share more things home related. So now is the time for you to hop on over to the next channel. Click on the link in my description box below and that will bring you to the next channel. So until next time, guys, I hope you have a fabulous week. Cheers! Now go hop.
I've been waiting for this, yeah. It's been up on my mind, so it's hard to resist.